Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's the Blind here, and I want to start off by saying I apologize for the long hiatus. I didn't intend to be gone this long. Honestly, I had some videos that I was already working on, and I kind of got, I don't want to say burnt out because it's not like I'm doing this with a million subs or I've been doing it for years or whatever, but I kind of got a little bit, what's the word? Unmotivated. Thank you. Jeez. I got a bit unmotivated, and it was a combination of things, just a bunch of stuff going in my personal life, and then with just trying to figure some stuff out tech-wise and setup-wise. But I actually got it figured out, and I kind of took a break from Car Mechanic Sim, not because I didn't like it, but I was getting, like I said, really burnt out on it. But I'm back. I'm ready to start a new build. I'm excited. Thank you for everyone that's still commenting and hoping for a new video, especially people that comment on the community posts that I put out. I'm going to try to get this video out ASAP for you. I'm recording this on July 1st, so hold me to it. Hopefully this comes out within the weekend. So what are some things that have happened over my my absence? QoL Mod has been updated, so there's that. Also, I've installed another mod that we're going to look at today in the build that we're going to be doing. It's called the TK mod. Now, for anyone that's curious, I know I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do it here only because I keep getting requests for it. To go about installing it, it's the exact same way with QoL and even the engine stand mod. You need Melon Loader. Make sure you have 5.7 or 0.57, whichever variant it is, but make sure it's 5.7. Then you just download the engine stand mod, or the, in this case, the TK mod from Nexus Mods. Make sure you have an account. You do need one. And then once you download it, you have to unzip the file into the mods folder of your Car Mechanic Sim folder, which if you have Melon Loader and you already installed it, which I'll link a video of how to do that down in the description. Hearst Quasar did a really good video on it, so I'm not even going to bother trying to reiterate all that. Make sure you put your, the TK or the engine stand mod in the mods folder. Just unzip them in there and you're good to go. So that's how that works, and honestly, I'm really excited to show you guys this because this finally brings some stuff that we've been wanting for, at least I have been wanting for a very long time. I'm really looking forward to building a car here. I'm not even going to go looking for a car. It's going to be this Pontiac Firebird, and or Trans Am. Trans Am, right? It's technically a Trans Am. Firebird Trans Am. Okay, so I was half right, half right. But it's a resto mod. So I'm very excited to see what we can do with this. We can take this a step further. It's not just a restore classic car. No, this one's going to have power and it's going to be fun to build. So we got it here on the flatbed. We're ready to go, and I'll meet you guys in the wash booth. Alrighty, here we go. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's been a while. I hate that this is like a normal occurrence that I'd like take 2-3 weeks off between videos. I really don't want to do that. I apologize, and I appreciate anyone who's actually stuck around this long. It means a lot. But yeah, so we got it all up in here. It looks horrible. I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like all finished up. Go ahead and take everything off here. So yeah, like I said, this is a resto mod variant. It is a config. You can find it on Steam. It's not a Nexus mod or anything like that, so a lot easier for you to put it into your game. I think that's it body wise, and let's go ahead and get the interior stuff out. There we go. I want to show you guys something. So this is going to be the first thing of the TK mod that we can actually do. So normally before the mod, you would have just had the brake drum and all this housing would have come, the whole leaf spring housing would have come down once you've taken everything off. Not anymore. So when you go to actually take it apart, take the shoe off the cylinder and the rear solid axle shaft, let's see here, you're actually going to have more parts now. So now this entire housing has multiple parts related to it. And it's so much in depth. Like we can actually take the diff cover off. So this mod brings a lot more to do, you know. Instead of just taking this whole thing out and calling it a day, you actually have to take it apart. So now we actually have a differential in here. We don't have to do anything with the spider gears or anything like that, but I mean, I'm happy with what we got. You know, actually take the diff out. And we actually have to take off the other axle to get that out. Now we can actually go back in here and take out the diff. And then we actually have a pinion gear, which we need to take the drive shaft off to get to. So and then we also have the pinion flange. Now we can take that pinion gear out and the little bearing. And there we go. That whole housing is completely emptied out. And once we take everything off here, we can actually take it off or take it out. Alrighty, and then we can just remove that. And I think it's just really cool that we can actually do that. The more in-depth this game gets, the better and more fun it is, right? I would love to see sometime where we can actually go into the gearbox, take off like the bell housing, go in and actually do like the forks and stuff like that. And bam. That's also a new part. We'll talk about that later. But we are all set. Awesome. Let's go ahead and weld it up. Awesome. Should we leave it black? Oh, it's matte. A satin black. Interesting. Now we're going to go ahead and set the engine in. What engine do we have in here? I think it's an LS3. Yep. And that's what I want to go with. We hardly ever mess with this engine. And honestly, it's one of the better looking engines. Anyway, oh yeah, we also have the new Dodge DLC, which I'm really happy is in here. So we have like the 6.1. Interesting. We got a 440, a 440 Magnum, 426 with the shaker. I love that. There it is. Oh my God. This is going to be an awesome engine to do swaps with. I hope we get a lot more configs later on or mods that come out with this engine for a swap possibility, because this is going to be awesome to be able to mess with. I'm really glad we have this. And now a lot of like the Mopar mods that we have in Steam and whatnot can actually utilize the Dodge engines now, like actual legitimate Dodge engines. That's going to be really, really fun to mess with. This also a Dodge engine? I've never seen this one before. Probably is, honestly. Cool. And we're definitely doing the full bore, all the goodies. So we're going to go ahead and hit F5. And hopefully that is all the modded stuff. Let me see. Yep. Awesome. Alrighty. So I'll go ahead and paint all that and come back when I'm ready. Alright guys, it's been a while, but I'm back. And I've got, I think, almost everything painted. However, I kind of wanted to touch over some of the updates to QoL. More specifically, all the painting updates that have happened. So I mentioned that the new updates kind of null and voided my video about the calipers, which I already knew some people commented that they would disappear after a while or once you restarted the game. My issue was just trying to get people to have the solid calipers while they were building it. I'm sure once you put it together and everything and you move on to another car, you probably forget about it. So that was just my thing. I couldn't figure out how to get it to stay after you save the game and everything like that. But now QoL has gone in and actually updated it to where now it actually works way easier. Before I paint it, you'll notice that the chroming that we would use is already gone. We don't have that anymore. It's just paint part or paint car. So now we'll go in and find the engine cover, which is right here. And so now you would kind of come in here and just, you know, choose whatever color you wanted and kind of do that. You'd also had the paint types. Well, now what we need to go is into the little teardrop. And now this is the new changes that they made. We have the paint target, which refers to the actual areas that get painted on whatever it is you're painting, and material replace. So you would go into mix. Now this one doesn't have any mix options, unfortunately, but the biggest thing, so obviously we'll just leave it on paint everything, is the material replace. This is the big thing. So now fully paintable makes it only lock to these. So now you can obviously change it to whatever you want, how much clear coat, yada yada. Or you can add in some effects. Now you have carbon fiber, a really big weave, a smaller weave, and a very fine weave. I don't know, can't really see it. I don't know if I zoom in, but yeah, you can kind of see it there. So You also have chrome plated, actual chrome now, and you can't change the color on these, unfortunately. You can't change it. And then you have aluminum, and then you have steel black, which is really just a matte black, a red, a white, a wood color, and leather, which is just crazy. Alcantara and glass, which I think would be really cool to use for future stuff, trying to see if maybe the engine components actually work when the car is running or something like that. I don't know, but that's just cool to use. But yeah, so now we have all these options. It makes it so much better to paint stuff. Makes it a lot more customizable and usable now. So we don't really need to use any of this hardly ever. It's just these two settings here. A few of the stuff that I painted, I've actually gone in and messed with some of these options here. You'll see later once we put it together. And obviously the paint target, but it's just so cool. I really love it. That update really makes everything so much easier to use, and I'm really excited to put it to use for more cars in the future. Now the other one that we need to talk about is TK Aftermarket mod. So with that one, this mod introduces a lot of parts that we really have been asking for. One in particular. So I've already shown you the obviously the leaf spring axle, how we can go in and actually change all the stuff on the inside with the diff and everything like that. Well, there's more to it. So if we go into the tablet and we go back to the main page, if I scroll, you'll see some of these aftermarket items. Now these are part of that mod, like I mentioned earlier. We have an air intake hose clamp, air intake hose filter. He also added a lot of stuff for Volkswagen. I think he added a whole engine that we can build in here. If you're big into Volkswagen, that's probably good for you. Looks like we have a traction bar or a toe link bar, a battery tray and battery bracket. So now we can actually put the battery in its own, enclosed case, as far as like a platform, which I think is really cool. A lot of cars have them, believe it or not. And, this makes it more realistic. We also have a bind plate, which I'm not quite sure what's for. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. There's more. Okay, so now we have a lot of LS3 stuff, like the air intake tube and everything like that. We do have a radiator as well, which is just a bigger, that's like an aftermarket radiator. I'll buy it, but I'm not sure we can use it. I think for a lot of these parts, we have to go into the configurator for the car editor and put them in manually. That way we can come back and do it. I'm not going to mess with any of that right now in this video. Just because it takes quite a bit of time. I'm not familiar with it completely yet. There's some more stuff. So like I said, maybe we'll do another one later. There's that pinion bearing. And here's all the rear diff stuff. The flange, the caps, and the differential itself. We have a separate housing now for this one. So we don't use the original lore friendly one. We use a separate one, which I think is really cool. It doesn't mess with the original ones. So if you still want to use that one, I think you can. You can just bolt it right in. It goes right in. I don't think it messes with any of that. And I think that's about it, other than some more tidbits for the for all that. And I'm not sure what these cubes are for. I know this mod is also geared towards people that actually mess with the car editor, and they use a lot of these assets to build new mods and stuff like that. So I think that's what this is for. So I'm not going to mess with any of that. If you know how to use it, you'll probably know what that's for. I don't build any mods. I just like review them and play with them. So I'm not too keen on all that. And a wheel tub, again, for like trucks or anything like that. You can even put them in cars, put them in the trunks in there. And like I said, in the editor. Now, the biggest thing, I'm sorry for the wait, but the main thing that we're excited for is, of course, the freaking big brake kits. It's finally here. We can finally actually have proper calipers on our cars. I'm really excited to actually use this on this resto mod because it's going to fit so well. Now, real quick, we do have the calipers, the pads, and the actual rotors we need to use with them. You can't just use the standard rotors because these will like hang off the side and they won't completely mount properly. So you do have to use the bigger rotors. There's a front and rear, and yeah, we'll go ahead and put all that to use. Also, you do have the brake pistons set of 4. You do have to buy 4 of them. It's not a whole set. You do have to buy 4. And we do have a new battery, you know, an Optima Red top battery, which is going to be cool to use. Makes them definitely feel more modified. We do have a bigger front disc brake shield. I actually do need to buy that. I need to buy 2 of those, and we do have a rear shield as well. We do have a front sway bar, a bigger one, a thicker one. I do think that one has to be added in the car editor, unfortunately, so we won't mess with that one today. Now, these polyurethane bushings, I've tried using them, but for whatever reason, every time I click on them, they don't install. Let me grab 3 of each, see if maybe I can get it to work, but I haven't had any luck with them myself just yet. We'll see if maybe we can get them to work in this video. Like I said, this mod does have a lot of stuff geared towards actual modders and editors. But if you just want the calipers, you can still download this mod, no issue, and you can have a great day. You don't have to mess with any settings, no configs or anything like that. Just drop the files like you normally would, and you're good to go. So like I said, we have all that. I can't wait to mess with it. Let me go ahead and get all the suspension work taken care of, and I'll meet back with you guys when we get ready to put on those calipers. Alrighty guys, ready to put on the calipers here. So like I said earlier, we do have to get a bigger front shield here. I already painted black for us, which is nice. So let's go ahead and put all this together real quick. You can kind of see the color scheme. I'm not sure if the car is going to be orange, but definitely wanted to make it like a Hotchkiss style kit. You know, Hotchkiss I think is orange. If not, I look like an idiot. I don't know. Suspension work usually for me is like red or orange. I know Bilstein can be blue and yellow. Kind of hard to incorporate that into a lot of cars. But let's go ahead and put this on. So we do need the front rotor. I'm going with the solid one. These ceramic are a little too dark for me. Now we go ahead and, like I mentioned, we do need the bigger pads, because if we put on the small ones, you can actually see that they're not going to really fit on there. So we do need to get the bigger ones, which match better. And obviously our new calipers. And I did forget to buy the cylinders. Look at me go. Need just 2 of these. Let's see. Bam. And there we go. Oh my god, that looks so good. Don't mind the botched logo. I'm sure for legal reasons it has to be that way. But I mean, we can gloss over that, right? I know most of us just want the actual caliper, and it looks really good. It does not look jank by any means. The bolts look cool. You can tell that it's definitely a Brembo style caliper, and just fits really nice. There's no like open gaps or anything like that. Doesn't rub on anything, and I'm sure it's going to look awesome behind a good looking wheel. One other thing I wanted to show was also I went ahead and got the polyurethane bushings on the upper suspension arm. I wasn't able to get them in like the small ones, like the leaf spring over here. For whatever reason, it stayed like the normal rubber ones. However, I am going to take these off. It clashes. I'm sorry. I'm not going to leave them on. I'm just going to use the normal, get out of the way, the normal bushings. But maybe for another car, I'll leave them in. And let's go ahead and get the caliper on this one. And this one looks better. You can definitely see that it definitely flows better. So for whatever reason, this side is mirrored, but honestly, I couldn't care less. There we go. We're all set back up here. Now, if we go back here, I do need to put together the rear diff. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We do need to put the caps in here. I didn't really paint anything in here because I mean it's gonna be covered up anyway. There we go. And all we need is the diff cover, which I went ahead and made it look aluminum. Every time I had like a 1/24 scale Maisto car or a toy car, the diff was always like chrome for whatever reason. So it's kind of like cemented in me that it's got to be black with a silver or chrome diff cover. And now that we can actually do aluminum, it looks really, really good. Alrighty, so now we just need to finish up on the axle here. There we go. And I like that it's in 3 pieces now for that brake drum, and we're all set. And we're good on this side. So yeah, I also went ahead and put aluminum on the fuel tank to make it kind of look more like a fuel cell. But yeah, that is the underside and a little bit of the TK mod right there. Honestly, really, really cool what we can do. And with the combined of the new QoL and this mod, it just makes building in this game so much more fun. It opens up a lot of opportunities, and I already love this game, but even more so now. You know, I'm really blown away. But all that's left, other than getting the wheels together for that, is to build the engine. And I've already got all the parts, I think, painted and ready to go. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's hop on into this engine build montage, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. Hey everyone, Blind here. Unfortunately for the remaining part of the video, I had my mic muted and I didn't realize it until just now as I'm editing it. And so I'm gonna have to do a quick voiceover for the rest of the video. I apologize. I'm gonna try and make it as normal as possible. But anyway, we finished the engine here. As you can see, I went ahead and did the coils aluminum just to kind of make them look more metal other than the plastic look. But the headers, I actually went ahead and made them look like they have header wrap. So what I did is I used one of the paint finishes now with the new QoL updates to kind of give it that header wrap. It has like this striated pattern and it looked really cool. I thought, you know, let's see how it looks. I actually go in and make them darker later on in the video so it actually works even better. But that's just what I did there with the headers. Just something different. I thought it looked pretty cool. Everything else though is pretty much just black and a little bit of chrome and aluminum bits. Nothing too crazy. Wanted to make it look like a standard, you know, LS3, you know, nothing too crazy. Maybe I should have done Hugger Orange. I don't know. Definitely would have matched better with the suspension that we did. But we're gonna go ahead and take this off. Get ready to put it in the car over there. Alrighty, just make sure that we got everything installed in here. We do. Let's go ahead and drop that in. Move this out of the way and bam. Man, it looks really good in here. It fits. Like I said, went ahead and made those a little bit darker and it definitely fits. Alrighty guys, here just showing you I got pretty much everything under the car taken care of. Here's the battery real quick. I know I didn't really look over that. So there's that all set to go. Still need everything under the engine bay. Before I get under there though, I kind of wanted to show you the coolant reservoir and the windshield washer reservoir. I went ahead and painted those black just to kind of get rid of that plastic, the clear look. You don't see the fluid anymore. It just makes everything under here look so much cleaner. Also went ahead and did the filter carbon fiber. Now this part I kind of did a time lapse on just to make up for me having to do this freaking voiceover. Again, I apologize. Trust me, I don't like doing this. It is way harder than I thought it was going to be. But like I said, here I'm just gathering all the parts. I needed the performance fuel filter. It is what it is. And I went ahead and painted the front exhaust pipes here also to kind of match the, make it look like a long tube header. and went with the engine wrap or header wrap theme with those. Now here I'm looking at wheels. I end up going with the Rim 1As right here, and just one of the most obvious choice for wheels. They never look bad, especially if they're done right. So what I do is I end up going with 20s in the front and 20s in the rear. However, for the rears, I didn't put any back spacing on them. And for the tires, I went ahead with 265/30/20s for the front. And I kind of screw around here. I thought about going with a slick tire just because I expected a lot more horsepower from the car. But I decided against it. I decided let's just make them race tires. You know, it's a pro touring car. We're not going to be racing it around or drag racing it. So I just went with a 325 and I decided 30 would probably look best on there. Now here is what I went with on the paint finish for the wheel. Kind of like a dark chrome look for it. I did try messing around with the materials and everything to see if we could do something a little bit different. Unfortunately, we really couldn't. Alrighty, so we got everything put together. Now we can go ahead and put it on the car. And I can already tell these are going to look good. And luckily, we went ahead and painted the drum. I wish that we could have had a caliper in the rear, but unfortunately, we do have that leaf spring axle. So, you know, we got to make do. But there we go. There's the front wheel with the caliper. It is clipping a little bit, but I'm not too bothered by it. Still looking really good there. Let's kind of look at it from the side profile, and oh my god, that is looking really, really good. That honestly, I thought it was not going to look as good as this. Those wheels, I like how thin the spokes actually look. I thought they were going to be a little bit wider, but they're really not. And here's all the body panels already on the car. All we really need to do is put it in the paint booth. Now here comes the fun part, the paint. What are we going to paint this thing? What color are we going to paint this thing? Well, another time lapse. I spent a good time trying to decide. I couldn't think of anything. I think I spent about like 15 minutes trying to decide a color. And, you know, I went through almost every color. I went through the oranges. I went through greens. I went through even blues. However, I told myself I was not going to do blue. I've done too many blue cars in the past. We're going to skip over those. I'm sorry for anyone that wanted a blue car for this or blue color for this. It's not happening. I can tell you that right now. I ended up going with this green. It fits too well. I mean, the orange on the livery for the fire chicken, the Phoenix, actually kind of throws back to the orange suspension that we did. So I went ahead and did it. So here it is in the shop here. The engine bay is all set to go. We're not messing with that. All we need to do now is get some interior done for this thing. And I decided to go with the Dodge Viper seat. Knowing that it has no like logos or anything, I thought it was a perfect seat, especially it being new DLC. I wanted to see what we could do with it, especially with, again, the material replacement. So I decide on going with the green. And honestly, it turned out it matches way better than I thought. So here we go. Let's see what they look like. Hopefully they're not too low because let's see this. The normal seats have a really high base. But they don't, and they look really good in there. They really do. Kind of fits the whole Resto Mod Pro Touring vibe. And the cool thing is those seatbelt pass-throughs in the back match the rest of the interior. It looks so good. All we need now is our steering wheel, and I just go with the basic steering wheel for the Bandit. Nothing too crazy, and I don't paint it. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to that. So I just put in the regular black steering wheel and call it a day. It fits too well. It does not need to be messed with. But yeah, I'm going to go and finish up everything and meet you guys up in the dyno. Alrighty, everyone. We're here in the dyno. We got everything set to go. The car is all aligned. Also went ahead and got the bench in. Don't yell at me. I did get that in there and matched it. It's all good to go. Let's close that. And it looks really good. It really fits really well back there. I really kind of liked the no back seat look that we had there for a minute. But anyway, we're all good. I've already checked. Fluids are good. This thing has a lot of details that honestly I didn't expect to be doing. This is turning into one of my favorite cars. And you can already tell because I've already put a license plate on it. I hardly ever do that. But I went ahead and put a license plate, Poison Ivy. I know some probably wanted me to do like a bird theme plate, but I kind of wanted to emphasize the green just because this color shocked me. Didn't expect to like it so much. So, what kind of power are we thinking? I'm probably thinking around like a 950, maybe. No, probably a 900. I'm probably gonna do like 850 to 900. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna be really high. I would love to see 1,000 horsepower, but I think it's saved for a lot of like the V12s and V10s, those higher horsepower, and a lot of the supercharged and boosted engines. You can see that we got a 485, but leave your comments and guesses or leave your guesses in the comments. And here we go. It does sound good though. Here we go. Oh, look at that power graph though. 795. I said 850, didn't I? I think I said 850. I was a little optimistic, but that's not too bad. 795, 310 horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque. That is a stout increase right there. I don't think I've ever seen a more linear power graph in my life on this game. Usually it's like really high and then it just drops. I don't ever think I've seen it go that straight. But without further ado, I want to take this thing outside. I want to see what this looks like in the sunlight. There it is. Man, I'm really falling in love with this car, guys. I didn't expect it to turn out so good. The green interior, I think, is probably my favorite part. The seats help. You know, that look for the Pro Touring look, I think really helped. Kind of wish we could have done something with the T-tops, maybe take them off or paint them black or something, but it is what it is. But yeah, let me go ahead and explode the car here for you guys. Man, I don't think we're going to sell this. This is definitely a car that's going to stay here. I'm going to have it displayed out here probably forever. I don't think I'm going to sell this car at all. But that's pretty much it, guys. What would you guys have done different to this car? Would you have painted it a different color? Would you guys have painted it the interior different? Maybe a different seat? What would you guys have done? And speaking of that, I really appreciate everyone that watches the videos and everything like that. It means a lot. I definitely want to be more proactive and consistent with uploading videos, so hopefully you guys stick around for all that. Go ahead and see what this is actually valued at. $120,000 and we paid 10 for it. Honestly, not a bad profit margin there. Not like it matters, we're not getting rid of it, so. But I just, you know, I'm curious. I'm sure you guys are curious too. Probably gonna put it over there, like I said, on display for the shop. It's gonna be a new shop car. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the showcase for the TK Aftermarket mod and the new QoL updates. But yeah, leave a comment if you guys want to see anything as far as a build, a car. I know a couple people request it, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to those. But again, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.